Good morning, class. Today we shall begin with the last chapter in the unit 3.4, that is how the first letter was written. Children, this is a small story which shows us how the misunderstandings are created when one does not know and understand a language. It's all about knowing a language. So let's read the story and see what happens. Once upon a most early time was a Neolithic man, and he lived cavilly in a cave. And he wore very few clothes, and he couldn't read, and he couldn't write, and he didn't want to. And except when he was hungry, he was quite happy. His name was Tegumai Bobsulai. That means man who does not put his foot forward in a hurry. But we, O best beloved, will call him Tegumai for short. This means it's a story about a Neolithic man when he used to live in a cave. You can have a look at the picture, people living in a cave. Okay. Now, Neolithic man, he never knew any language. He did not knew to write. He wore very few clothes and he didn't want to learn as well. Okay. They said, and he was like really happy except when he was hungry. So his name was Tegumai Bobsulai. And the writer says we will be calling him Tegumai for short. And his wife's name was Teshumai Tuvendro. That means lady who asks a very many questions. But oh, best beloved, we call her Teshumai for short. And his little girl's daughter's name was Tafimai Metalumai. That means small person without any manners, who ought to be spanked. But I'm going to call her Taffy. And she was Tegumai Bobsulai's best beloved and her own mummy's best beloved, and she was not spanked half as much as was good for her. And they were all three very happy. Now these are the characters, okay? Teshumai, Tegumai, and Taffy, okay? So this is a small family. The story is all about small family. Now we have understood the characters in the story. Now we'll wait here for a break and continue and proceed with the story. Yes, class. Now we have understood the characters in the story. Now let's proceed how the incident happened with this family and where it landed them. Now attend and listen. One day, Tegumai Bobsulai went down through the beaver swamp to the Wagai river to spear carp fish for dinner, and Taffy went too. Tegumai's spear was made of wood with a shark's teeth at the end, and before he caught any fish at all, he accidentally broke it clean across by jabbing it down too hard on the bottom of the river. They were miles and miles from home, and Tegumai had forgotten to bring any extra spears. Now, this is an incident of a particular day when Tegumai went down to the beaver swamp, Wagai river, to spear carp fish. Now, spear carp fish means, children, catching hold of a fish with the help of a spear. You can see the picture of the spear. It is pointed and it was made of wood with a shark's tooth at the end. Now, when trying to catch fish, what happened? Accidentally, Tegumai broke it clean across by jabbing it down too hard on the bottom of the river. And what was the bad luck? They were miles and miles from home and he had forgotten to bring any extra spears. Like if one is broken, he could make use of the other one. That also was not possible because he had carried only one spear with him. Here's a pretty kettle of fish, said Tegumai. It will take me half a day to mend this. Here's your big black spear at home, said Taffy. Let me run back to the cave and ask Mummy to give it to me. It's too far for your little fat legs, said Tegumai. Besides, you might fall into the beaver swamp and be drowned. We must make the best of a bad job. He sat down and took out a little leather mendy bag full of reindeer sinews and strips of leather and lumps of beeswax and resin and began to mend the spear. Now he is able to spot a kettle of fish, moving very fast in the water. Now he feels very happy. Oh, such a lot of fish all together. But then he said, okay, but he has broken his spear, he said, and it will take him half a day to mend it. Now he was feeling bad for the loss he could see. At this, the little girl reminds him that there is one black spear at home. She suggests that she would go home and fetch it. But Tegumai says, no, you will not be able to go back home alone, and it is quite far off since they were miles and miles away. So he thought of a better idea to sit down and mend the spear. He thought of tying it down together. So all the accessories that he had with him, he tried to make use of him and he started to mend the spear. Now we'll wait here for a minute and see further what happened in the story after a small break. Yes, let's continue. Now we saw that Tegumai did not allow his daughter to go back home. So what she did, she too sat down with her toes in the water and her chin in her hand and thought very hard. Then she said, I say, Daddy, it's an awful nuisance that you and I don't know how to write, isn't it? If we did, we could send a message for the new spear. Just then a stranger man came along the river, but he belonged to a far tribe, the Tivaras, and he did not understand one word of Tegumai's language. He stood on the bank and smiled at Taffy, because he had a little girl daughter of his own at home. Tegumai drew a hank of deer sinews from his mendie bag and began to mend his spear. Now, as Taffy was not allowed to go, she too sat beside his father, dropping her toes in the water, and she started to think. And it clicked to her, and she asked his father, Daddy, isn't it awful nuisance that you and I don't know how to write? Because she said so because she thought if we could know writing, we would send a message, and without you and me going out anywhere, we could have got our spears just sitting here. And while she's saying this to her father, in a meanwhile, a stranger comes along the river. But then this stranger belonged to another tribe, okay, and the name of his tribe was Tivaras. Now, both the tribes have different language, and as a result, this stranger man is not able to understand a single word of what Tegumai and Taffy are talking. He just stood at the bank, he looked at Taffy and he gave her a smile. He is smiling at the little girl because looking at her, he recalled his own daughter at home. And Tegumai, like he continued mending his spear. Come here, said Taffy. Do you know where my mummy lives? And the stranger man said, Silly, said Taffy. And she stamped her foot because she saw a shoal of very big carp going up the river just when her daddy couldn't use his spear. Don't bother grown-ups, said Tegumai, so busy with his spear mending that he did not turn around. I aren't, said Taffy. I only want him to do what I want him to do, and he won't understand. Now, meanwhile, as Taffy looks at the stranger, while the stranger is also having a look at Taffy, and she calls him, come here, and asks him whether he knew where her house was and where her mummy lived. The stranger man, as is not able to understand the language, just gives a reaction, he's not able to understand. Silly, said Taffy. She remarked something to be very silly and she stamped her foot hard because, she saw a very large carp of fish, like lot many fish all together moving up the river. And she's feeling sorry because her daddy couldn't use this spear and catch such a lot of fish. And while she's talking like this, her father overhears her and tells her, don't bother grown-ups, said Tegumai. And as he's very busy mending his spear, he doesn't take a look around and he just tells her. He feels as if Taffy is talking to him. And Taffy replies that she wasn't, disturbing the grown-ups. I aren't, said Taffy. I only want him to do what I want him to do. And she's talking about the stranger to this father, but father is not looking around. And so he feels that Taffy is talking only to him. But Taffy is telling I'm talking to the stranger, but she did not mention about the stranger. She's telling, I'm just telling him to do what I want him to do. And he's not able to understand. So here is where the misunderstanding is started, children. Noted that, na? Okay, we wait here for a minute and continue after a short break. Yes, class, let's continue with the story and see what happened next. Then don't bother me, said Tegumai, and he went on pulling and straining the deer sinews with his mouth full of loose ends. The stranger man, a genuine Tivara he was, sat down on the grass and Taffy showed him what her daddy was doing. The stranger man thought, this is a very wonderful child. She stamps her foot at me and she makes faces. She must be the daughter of the noble chief who is so great that he won't take any notice of me. So he smiled more politely than ever. Now at this, the father said, Taffy not to bother him, okay? And he went on continuing with his work of repairing the spear. Now the stranger, he was a genuine Tivara. He was observing all this, what Taffy and her father is doing. Now the stranger is thinking to himself that the man, that is Tegumai, he is a noble chief, okay? And the little girl must be belonging to that chief and she could be the daughter of that chief. Now this tribal people have a leader, you can say the head of the tribe, okay? Now he imagines Tegumai to be the leader or the boss or the, you can say, chief, noble chief in their tribe, and this little girl could be his daughter. And so he gives a polite smile again. Okay. Then Now said Taffy, I want you to go to my mummy because your legs are longer than mine and you won't fall into the beaver swamp, and ask for daddy's another spear, the one with the black handle that hangs over our fireplace. The stranger man thought, this is a very, very wonderful child. She waves her arms and she shouts at me, but I don't understand a word of what she says. Now, Taffy reported to her father that she's talking to that other man outside, but father has not taken a notice, and she didn't even mention that she's talking to the stranger. She's just saying, she's calling the Taffy and she's ordering him to go to the mummy's go to her mummy. And why she's asking him to go? Because he was a tall young man, and she said that his legs were much longer than her, and he is not having any fear of falling into the beaver swamp, and requested him to ask her mother about the daddy's spear, the one with a black handle that hangs over the fireplace. She also told him where he would find that spear. The stranger man thought, now as Taffy is explaining and asking him to do something, this man is quite confused because he is not able to understand what she's saying. He is not aware of the language. And he thinks, this is a very, very wonderful child. Okay. Now she waves her arms at me, she shouts at me, but I don't understand a word of what she says. He is like again very sorry, not able to understand a single word or her expression, what she's trying to say. Okay. Now, what this confusion leads them to, we will see this after a small break, children. Yes, class. Now, in the last session, we saw that how the stranger man is not able to understand the language of Taffy, and is not able to understand what reaction she is giving or what action she is doing. He is not able to interpret that. Okay. So, since he is not knowing the language, there is all confusion. Now, let's continue further with the story and see what happened. The stranger man thought, this is a very, very wonderful child. She waves her arms and she shouts at me, but I don't understand a word of what she says. But if I don't do what she wants, I greatly fear that haughty chief, man who turns his back on callers, will be angry. He got up and twisted a big flat piece of bark off a birch tree and gave it to Taffy. He did this, best beloved, to show that his heart was as white as a birch bark, and that he meant no harm, but Taffy didn't quite understand. Now we here also see that since stranger was not able to understand, he gives her the white birch bark with the intention to tell her that I am not going to do any harm to you, you better understand. His heart was pure and white as the bark of a tree, birch tree. Now similarly, now Taffy is not able to understand why he is handing over this, or what he trying to tell Taffy. Oh, she said, now I see you want my mummy's living address. Of course, I can't write, but I can draw pictures. If I have anything sharp to scratch with, please lend me the shark's tooth of your necklace. The stranger man, and he was Tivara, didn't say anything. So Taffy put up her little hand and pulled at the beautiful bead and seed and shark tooth necklace around his neck. Now she thought that the stranger wanted her to write the address and give. She reported she was not able to write, but she could definitely draw something and tell him. But she needed something pointed and sharp. So she looks at a necklace in the neck of the stranger man, and there was a shark tooth there. She tries to pull it, snatch it and pull it to scrap something on the birch bark. The stranger man, and as he was Tivara, thought, this is a very, very, very wonderful child. The shark's tooth on my necklace is a magic shark's tooth, and I was told that if anybody touched it without my leave, they would immediately swell up or burst. But this child doesn't swell up or burst, and that important chief, man who attends strictly to his business, who has not yet taken any notice of me at all, doesn't seem to be afraid that she will swell up or burst. I had better be more polite. Now you can see the misunderstanding created here also, children. Okay. And the best part is that the necklace that he was wearing and the shark tooth that he had was a magical one. If anyone touched without his permission, what was going to happen? Anyone who tries to take it without his permission, he would swell up or burst. That means he would be killed on the spot. Okay. We'll wait here for a break, children, and continue after a short break. Children, now we saw that what a stranger is trying to tell, Taffy is not able to understand. Now there is a misunderstanding on the part of Taffy. Now whatever she is interpreting, now that way she is trying to behave. Let's see what happened in the story further. So he gave Taffy the shark tooth, and she lay down flat on her tummy with the legs in the air, like some people on the drawing room floor when they want to draw pictures, and she said, now I'll draw you some beautiful pictures. You can look over my shoulder. but you mustn't joggle. First, I'll draw Daddy fishing. It isn't very like him, but Mummy will know because I have drawn his spear all broken. Well, now I'll draw the other spear that he wants, the black handled spear. It looks as if it was sticking in Daddy's back. But that's because the shark's tooth slipped and this piece of bark isn't big enough. Now, whatever she is putting down on the birch bark, she is explaining to the stranger what all things she has drawn. That's the spear I want you to fetch. So I'll draw a picture of me myself, explaining to you. My hair doesn't stand up like I have drawn, but it's easier to draw that way. Now I'll draw you. You think you are very nice, really? But I can't make you pretty in the picture. So you mustn't be offended. Are you offended? The stranger man, as he was Tivara, smiled. He thought, there must be a big battle going to be fought somewhere, and this extraordinary child who takes my magic shark's tooth but who does not swell up or burst is telling me to call the great chief's tribe to help him. He is a great chief, or he would have noticed me. Now here you see that whatever drawing she has made, she explained it to the stranger. Now how stranger is misunderstanding her. See, now he feels that there must be a big battle going on and maybe they want this man to go and fetch help. Now since Taffy's father could be a chief, he must be in danger and he must be requesting him to go and get help from the village. Look, said Taffy, drawing very hard, and read the scratchily. Now I have drawn you, and I have put the spear that Daddy wants in your hand, just to remind you that you are to bring it. Now I'll show you how to find Mummy's living address. You go along till you come to two trees. Those are two trees. And then you'll go over a hill. That's a hill. And then you come over to a beaver swamp full of beavers. Now Taffy on her part has drawn the address. Now whatever things he would come across on the way, she's explaining him. Okay, that I have drawn and I put the spear that Daddy wants in your hand. Okay, to bring it. Now she's telling him the way where her mummy is staying or living. Okay, and she says, you go, and once you go, you will come across two large trees, and then you'll come across a hill, and then you'll come across a beaver swamp, which will be full of beavers. Okay, children. Now, whether the stranger was able to go or not, we'll see that after a small break. Yes, children, now we saw how Taffy is trying to explain whatever she has drawn on the birch bark to the stranger. But how stranger has interpreted it, that's a different note. Now she's explaining him whatever she has drawn. I haven't put in all the beavers because I can't draw beavers. But I have drawn their heads, and that's all you will see of them when you cross the swamp. Mind you don't fall in. Then our cave is just beyond the beaver swamp. It isn't as high as the hills really, but I can't draw things very small. That's my mummy outside. She's beautiful. She's the most beautifulest mummy there ever was. But she won't be offended when she sees I have drawn her so plain. She'll be pleased of me because I can draw. Now, in case you forget, I have drawn the spear that Daddy wants outside our cave. It's inside really. But you show the picture to my mummy and she will give it to you. I have made her holding up her hands because I know she'll be so pleased to see you. Isn't it a beautiful picture? And do you quite understand, or shall I explain again? Now she's giving the explanation of whatever she has drawn. The stranger man, and as he was a Tivara, looked at the picture and nodded very hard. He said to himself, if I do not fetch this great chief's tribe to help him, he will be slain by his enemies who are coming up on all sides with spears. Now I see why the great chief pretended not to notice me. He feared that his enemies were hiding in the bushes and would see him. Therefore he turned to me his back and let the wise and wonderful child draw the terrible picture showing me his difficulties. I will away and get help from him from his tribe. He did not even ask Taffy the road, but raced off into the bushes like the wind, with a birch bark in his hand, and Taffy sat down, most pleased. Now, this is the interpretation of the drawing that Taffy had drawn by the stranger. Now, stranger thought that, okay, they are in the center and they have been captured by the enemy, and every person in the enemies are holding the spears and they are about to attack them. Now, he tries to feel the how much trouble they are, and he feels that I should run immediately and get help for this tribe. Now, maybe that man is afraid. Maybe the enemy is hiding in the bushes. They might come and attack them anytime. And that is the reason why Teguma is not giving a look at the stranger. This is his interpretation about the picture drawn by Taffy. Further, this is a picture that Taffy had drawn for him. Whatever you have been doing, Taffy? Said Tegumai. He had mended his spear and was carefully waving it to and fro. It's a little arrangement of my own, Daddy dear, said Taffy. If you won't ask me questions, you'll know all about it in a little time, and you'll be surprised. You don't know how surprised you'll be, Daddy. Promise you'll be surprised. Very well, said Tegumai, and went on fishing. Now, little girl is instructing her father that she on her part has asked the stranger to fetch her the spear which is lying at home, and this is the surprise that she wants to give her father, but she is not exactly telling him. Now, whether her father was really surprised or what happened, children, we will see this after a short break. Yes, children, let's continue with the story and see whether Taffy's father really got a surprise. The stranger man, did you know he was a Tiwara, hurried away with the picture and ran for some miles till quite by accident he found Teshumai Tivendro at the door of a cave, talking to some other Neolithic ladies who had come into primitive lunch. Taffy was very like Teshumai, especially about the upper part of her face and the eyes. So the stranger man, always pure Tivara, smiled politely and handed Teshumai the birch bark. He had run so hard so that he panted and his legs were scratched with the brambles, but he still tried to be polite. Now, at last, stranger man reached the place where her mother was staying, and she saw some ladies over there, like maybe they had come there for a primitive lunch. Now, he noted one lady, she was exactly resembling Taffy. So, he could make out, like, the upper part of the face and eyes were like Taffy only. So, the stranger thought that she could be probably Taffy's mother. And so, he handed over that birch bark to the lady. And he was already injured, like he was breathless as he went running. And he was also, legs were also scratched by brambles because all through the woods he went. Further, as soon as Teshumai saw the picture, she screamed like anything and flew at the stranger man. The other Neolithic ladies at once knocked him down and sat on him in a long line of 6, while Teshumai pulled his hair. It's as plain as the nose on this stranger man's face, she said. He has struck my Tegumai all full of spears and frightened poor Taffy so that her hand all on end, and not content with that, he brings me a horrid picture of how it was done. Now, this is again a misinterpretation of the picture, children. Now, what mother understood about that picture? Now your Taffy's mother feels that this is the man and he had attacked Taffy and her father with the spears, and he had scared the little girl, so she's standing there by her raising hands. So all these ladies went and attacked the stranger, pulling him down, and the mother, she was pulling the hair of this man. Look, she showed the picture to all the Neolithic ladies, patiently on the stranger man, sitting patiently on the stranger man. Here is Tegumai with his arm broken. Here is a spear sticking to his back. Here is a man with a spear ready to throw. Here is another man throwing spear from the cave. And here are a whole pack of people. They were Taffy's beavers, really, but they did not look like people. Coming up behind Tegumai, isn't it shocking? So this is how, there's all confusion, misunderstood. The picture is misunderstood by the mother, and the poor stranger had to suffer. Rather, he had gone there with a very good intention of helping this lady. Okay. So hope the lesson is understood by all children. Thank you.